Listen, Donald Trump is a piece of shit. Okay, we know that. Yes, yes. He is. He is. He is. But in a functioning democracy, he still would not be able to get away with this. But he's been able to get away with this because the House Republicans are complicit.
Hi guys, welcome to my social commentary. My name is Ransom Joseph. Well, she said it loud and clear. Jasmine just called Donald Trump a piece of shit on camera. And the internet is exploding. Some are calling her a hero, others not so much. But come to think of it, what led to this fury moment? Was it about the recent indictment, the policy, or something more personal? Whether you agree with her or not, one thing is for sure. This moment just added more fuel to the already burning political fire. Let us know what you think in the comment section. Watch this.
Listen, Donald Trump is a piece of shit. Okay, we know that. Yes, yes. He is. He is. He is. But in a functioning democracy, he still would not be able to get away with this. But he's been able to get away with this because the House Republicans are complicit.
I will be your last and final speaker, but let me tell you something. I want to make sure that I make it clear who these people that are standing behind me are. Because I don't think that the American people truly understand the amount of sacrifice that these warriors and heroes are making right now. Most people don't understand that in the Texas House, you only get paid $7,000 as it is as a salary. But these people are saying, listen, we are going to do our job because we understand our oath, unlike those that serve on the federal level and are Republicans, as well as those that serve in our current Supreme Court and happen to have been appointed by Republicans, as well as those that serve in the Texas House right now and happen to be Republicans. These are people that understand what it is to be a representative. They understand their constituencies, and instead of trying to stomp on them, they want to do everything that they can to stomp for them. And so that's why they're here. Now let me say, this governor talks a lot of noise, and I made sure that I put up my warrant from 4 years ago to make it plain that they talk a lot of noise, but these guys are weak. That's why they're over here trying to bully people. Bullies are always weak. The difference is they expect Democrats to kind of be the nice guys that we are. They expect us to take the punch and say thank you. Well, I am here to tell you, not only are we going to punch back, but we about to beat you down. We're going to win. I'm going to tell you why we're going to win, because people are tired. And as it's already been said, we got a few truth tellers that came before us. A number of them came out of Texas. So I need y'all to understand that maybe you haven't learned these amazing warriors' names, but you will know their names. Y'all know how the president feels about me. Got my training ground right there in Texas. We know that there was another amazing black woman out of the state of Texas by the name of Barbara Jordan that had to check another corrupt president by the name of Nixon. So I'm here to tell you, just like I told a group of folk in Arizona yesterday. Frankie Beverly and Mays said it best. We are one. For everyone that's been asking, where are the Democrats? Well, here they are. For everyone that's been asking, where is the fight? Well, here it is. But let me tell you something. Don't leave them out on the ledge by themselves. They need to know that you, the American people, stand with them because they are standing for you. There's so many people that they will never meet, but they understand the importance of making sure that they have a voice when it comes to their government. They understand the importance of standing for what democracy is and making sure that it does not fall by the wayside. They understand that we have a Timmu Hitler in the White House right now that thinks that he is going to become the dictator of the United States. Well, I got another thing to tell you, sir. The Democrats, no matter whether we're talking about these Texas House Democrats, or whether we're talking about the governor from Illinois, the governor from California, or whether we're talking about New York, or I can go through the states and it's not just the governors. It is the state houses. It is the state senators. It is those congressional delegations that are saying, do what you gotta do and I will fight and I will win and I will earn my seat back to the people's house in DC. I am here to tell you the time is up for playing in our faces. The Democrats are not going to stand for So I just want to be clear. Do whatever you can to support these heroes, because they are the ones that had to leave their families. They are the ones that have warrants out for their arrest. They are the ones that are doing things that, honestly, a lot of other people do not have the audacity to do. So make sure when you talk about them, press, put some respect on their names. I appreciate y'all.
So I'm telling you, I am confident. It doesn't matter who the Democratic nominee is going to be, we're going to win. But what are we going to need to do then? For me, it's getting aggressive. Now listen, I'm not going to say this is what we're going to do, but I'm telling y'all what my vision would be. Number one, this Supreme Court is corrupt. So again, serving on the Judiciary Committee, there are bills that we have put into place. We need to have some real guardrails around this Supreme Court. Because the Supreme Court has paved the way for half the stuff that we see that's going on. Listen, Donald Trump is a piece of shit. Okay, we know that. In a functioning democracy, he still would not be able to get away with this. But he's been able to get away with this because the House Republicans are complicit. He's been able to get away with this because Senate Republicans are complicit. But most importantly, the courts, especially the Supreme Court, is complicit. And so I think one of the places that we have to start is we are absolutely, they are the highest court in the land, and they have no ethics guardrails. Now you go down to the lower courts, and they do. How much sense does that make? When we know that they're taking money, we have the paper trail, and they refuse to put guardrails on themselves, so it's time for us to do it for them. So for me, that is absolutely one of the surefire ways that we can protect our democracy is if we put some guardrails on them. As someone, I talked about breaking quorum in 2021. As someone who broke quorum because we were seeking the passage of the Freedom to Vote Act, which would have taken money out of politics, as we were seeking the passage of the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act, that would have made sure that we wouldn't end up in situations like what we're facing in Texas with redistricting. So it also would have made sure that it doesn't matter if you're casting your vote, say in California, or if you're in Texas, you would still have equal access to the ballot box. Unfortunately, in a state like Texas, we don't have online voter registration. Unfortunately, in a state like Texas, they have decided that they want to criminalize those that go out and try to register people if they make a mistake on their voter registration. We cannot live in a country where we say everyone has equal access to the ballot box to decide who's going to be the president or who's going to serve in the Congress, but it's only easy if you're in a state like California. No, we need to equalize this thing. So again, if it's my vision, I'm aggressive. So for me, I don't serve in the Senate, but I would get rid of the filibuster if it means for voting rights, because we don't get rights to repro, we don't get rights to healthcare, we don't get rights to education, we don't get any other rights if we don't have the ability to access the ballot box. Those are the things that I would do. I would get aggressive on the Supreme Court, and I would get aggressive about making sure that we equalize this thing so that we can all access the ballot box.
If y'all want to make a better system, then adopt my amendment number 314 that would require an increase in the federal minimum wage of $15 in order for corporate tax breaks to go into effect. Speaking of wages, this bill doesn't even give the same level of help to people living on tip wages and working overtime just to put food on this table as it does for Trump's billionaire buddies. In fact, the bill only allows no tax on tips and overtime until 2028, and we've talked about this. Listen, this is a joke. This was nothing more than a campaign scheme. This was about saying, you know what, I'm going to make this promise to you. And we can talk about the fact that there have been a lot of promises made, yet a lot of promises broken. In fact, that was one of the reasons it seems like that, Senator Tillis has decided that he's done. And he's going to get out because he understands that there's nothing but broken promises that are being made. Broken promises that look like, say, I'm going to deport the bad guys only, And then we end up with children with cancer or Americans or undocumented taxpayers that contribute more than $100 billion in taxes. Those are the ones being thrown in cages and sent to other countries. Or we look at the fact that there was a promise made and broken that Doge was supposed to be the magic trick. Now Elon is being threatened with deportation and the cancellation of his own contracts, which historically have been estimated at a whopping $38 billion after he decided that he was going to spill the tea about the Epstein files. And frankly, the truth is that we know that we could cut a lot of those contracts to Elon, but somehow that hasn't been done. Instead, we, the American people, have been left with a hefty tab of incompetence by Doge and feeling extremely vulnerable. In fact, there was a Doge employee who was fired, and I appreciate this man, but truly, transparency and truth has no place in this particular government. This former employee of Doge says that during his short time embedded with the Department of Veteran Affairs, he did not find levels of waste, fraud, and abuse that he had expected, and it was pretty surprised, actually, at how efficient government was. I will wrap up by saying this. I don't really understand what it is that y'all plan to go back and tell your constituents. I'm glad that some of y'all decided to show up, but the reality is that you have sold your constituents out for 83 people in this country. And each of our districts should have approximately 766,000 people. How is it that you can explain that we still are running up the credit card and we have nothing to show for it except for the fact that we won't have food on the tables and we won't have health care? And with that, I will yield.
In a move that will go down in history as one of the most stunning political takedowns of our time, Jasmine Crockett did something on live television that no one expected. While most politicians hesitate, dance around tough subjects, or pull their punches, Crockett came out swinging and she hit Trump with a blow that left him speechless, a look of utter disbelief plastered across his face. What happened in this showdown wasn't just a critique of the former president. It was a calculated dismantling of his entire persona, and it left Trump scrambling to find his usual escape routes. Before we dive into the specifics, let me ask you a quick favor. If you appreciate this content, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. It's free for you, but it helps us more than you can imagine. All right, now back to the drama. Imagine a boxer waiting for their opponent to drop their guard before delivering the knockout punch. That's exactly what Crockett did. She waited for the perfect moment. And when she struck, it was a blow Trump never saw coming. Unlike other politicians who tiptoe around sensitive issues, Crockett went straight for the jugular. She didn't soften the blow. She didn't hesitate. She called Trump a thug and a white supremacist to his face. But here's the kicker. Trump, who's known for his usual deflection tactics, was caught completely off guard. Normally, when someone criticizes him, he whips out the familiar witch hunt and fake news labels. But this time, Crockett's approach was too direct, too clear, and too precise for him to deflect. It was like watching a professional trial lawyer in action. Her background as a trial attorney came into play in the most spectacular way. She didn't just throw out vague accusations, she nailed down specifics, using examples of Trump's lies about Ukraine, immigration, and national security. She didn't leave him an inch to wriggle out of, and that's what made her takedown so brutal. Crockett didn't just accuse Trump of being dishonest, she exposed his lies in real time, pointing to instances that viewers could verify. Imagine sitting there, knowing that every word Crockett said was true and backed by facts. That calm, no-nonsense delivery made her accusations feel undeniable. Trump's usual playbook of yelling fake news and deflecting didn't work this time.
Well, welcome back. No matter what you stand or where you stand, Jasmine's word hit a nerve, and the conversation is not yet over. In a country more divided than ever, moments like this say a lot about where we are headed. So what do you think? Was she speaking the truth or stepping out of line? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Hit the button and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. Stay tuned.